Today I'm going to be showing you how I got to an 80 kilograms weighted pull-up at around 90 kilograms body weight. I'm going to be showing the technique, the loading progressions, and everything you need to get from maybe one body weight pull-up or even your first body weight pull-up to very heavy weighted pull-ups. An important detail on the weighted pull-ups is the grip. A lot of people will jump on the bar and try to hold like this. That's not going to be an efficient position for the hands. What we want is to place the bar around here. So we call it like a semi-false grip, and our wrists are going to be slightly flexed like this. So we are going to have a stronger grip here. You are not going to be here, you are going to be here. For some people, it might be a little bit more comfortable and allow for a little bit more range of motion if you cover your thumbs up. I prefer it gripping on the bar, but it's not necessarily wrong if you put it over the bar. Another important thing when we are talking about the grip is the grip width. For maybe body weight pull-ups, you are going to go for a narrower grip if you are doing more reps. For weighted pull-ups, so you put yourself in advantageous positions, and also so you reduce a little bit the range of motion, we're going to go a little bit wider. So I like to go a little bit outside my shoulders instead of like neutral shoulder width. And now talking about the position that we're going to be pulling, we are not going to pull straight up and down. That's not going to be a strong position to pull, especially when you are carrying a lot of weights. We're going to start from a dead hang. It's actually a little bit better if you start looking a little bit up. And when you start the pull, we're going to do a little bit lean back, pull, and then pull in. So it's not up and down. You are going to hyperextend a little bit, start the pull, close on top of the bar. I'm going to show a few reps here. So here you can see that I start in a dead hang, slightly overextend at the bottom, start the pull, then finish with the chin over the bar, pulling in the bar. Now, one of the things that helped me a lot to improve my weighted pull-ups is doing aggressive pull-ups. I usually do this before I start my weighted pull-up sessions, and that just helps you a lot with learning how to engage the body strongly and pulling aggressively. Now, talking about training frequency, loading, and how to progress, I usually would do weighted pull-ups 2 times per week. I personally like to alternate between neutral, pronated, and neutral grip every week or every other week, so I have a full development of my pull-ups and chin-ups. I will also keep most sets between 3 to 5 reps and occasionally going to 1 or 2 RM. And at every session after my top set, I'm going to reduce the load between 20 and 30% and do 1 arm rep set to get a few more quality reps. So this is how a week can look like. Tuesday and Thursday, so 2 sessions per week. These are the progressions for week 1 and 2. So on Tuesday, on the session 1, I'm going to go for a pronated grip, and I'm going to be doing 5 sets of 3 plus 1 arm rep set, 20% or 30% lighter than this. So 5 sets of 3 that can be even building. So I build for a top set of 3 at 60 kilos, then I decrease 20% and do 1 arm rep set. On Thursday, I'm going to go for a neutral grip, and I'm going to be doing 5 sets of 2 plus 1 arm rep set at 65 kilograms. Again, this, if you are very used to high volume and you are very good at pull-ups, you could be doing 5 sets of 2 heavy, or you could be building for a heavy set. Once you have like some load that it's challenging, you start counting your working sets, then you decrease and go for 1 arm rep set. And here on week 2, how we would progress from this session would be by, on the top set, same load, you would try to do 1 more rep at 60 kilos. Another progression could be just by the arm rep set with 20-30% less load, you increase 1 rep there also. Similar thing to Thursday, you did 5 sets of 2 plus 1 at 65. Now on week 2, you could go something like 5 sets of 2, but the top set being 67 kilograms. So that's one way to progress when you progress on load, and another way to progress is when you progress on reps. Not necessarily on the main sets, could be on the back of set and you are getting a little bit more volume with a lighter load. That's going to vary. I like to always be progressing, so you try to find that increment on the session, either on the main sets or on the back of sets. And if for some reason you are not really increasing the load, like I said, you try to go another rep, or maybe you can change your back off sets. If you are feeling a lot of fatigue, you just decrease, remove the load, and you start to progress in maximum body weight pull-ups at the end of these sets as a back off set. There are many options that you can play with that. The important thing for you to remember is you always try to find a way to progress from the previous session. And not necessarily that's going to happen, and that's fine. Keep being very consistent on your training, on your chin-ups, and definitely you are going to get much better at that.